Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show, and here we are because we are about to give you challenges, a movie with JP Sebastian on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Yes, we did a couple of movements.
Just so they know what's going on there.
It's like you just practiced on flies.
I did. That's all that. Actually, this is more like table tennis. Doesn't matter.
Of a tennis ball to you.
That's it. That's very true as well. But here it is. It's a movie that I think we've been anticipating. The last time we had a bit of a preview, we were chatting about how many of these clips were rotating around the interwebs, especially of Zendaya between the two male actors.
Oh, people want the tea and the sauce.
Yes, I just want some more tea, JP. Let's go, please.
We clearly don't know how to use this language.
No.
So the movie's been out for a while then, because I previewed it in the week that it came out. But since it's the French Open happening now,
That's correct.
I don't know. I'm clearly not built for physical activity, so I'll take your word for it. You could tell me whichever Open it was, and I'd believe you. But for that reason, we're talking about a movie that people have been raving about. And just in case, because it's happened sometimes to a lot of us, it's like, dude, what? Mad Max has been out for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me? So this has been out for 2, and I'm sure that some people will be reattracted. I've seen some people on social media, for example, going, okay, I'm going back for a 4th time for challenges.
Jeez.
One of the reasons that you might want to is just because of your love of tennis, and that's why we're talking about it here today. And obviously people love to hear how these actors prepare.
Yes.
So I'll give you a little bit of a teaser, a snippet, featurette from Challenges with the coach Brad Gilbert, who you tennis connoisseurs might know. Let's have a look.
The life of an athlete, it is all-encompassing. Your body is your instrument.
You were incredible today. It wasn't even like tennis. It was an entirely different game.
It was very important to Luca that we all work together, train together, do tennis together.
I wanted them to disappear within these characters, which are 3 very trained athletes. So we had Brad Gilbert, who was our advisor. He's a legend, training the actors for tennis, for body, for sports abilities.
The overhead shots, the underneath shots, the behind shots. It's very physically demanding, but to see the work that Mike, Josh, and Z put in to make it the best possible tennis, let's go! That's what I get excited about.
Tennis is their life.
I'm playing for both of us, Tashi.
Blood, sweat, and tears every day. It's been a lot of hard work, and that was fun for me.
This is a game about winning the points that matter.
Oh, that is cool. You know what is important to me, like you just showed me, is that I need to buy into these characters. I need to see them play the game properly. Otherwise, I'm out. I'm walking away.
Of need to, the first thing that you noticed was the knee thing.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I hate them.
An entire cinema knaped simultaneously when that happened. They actually built a fake leg for Zendaya. They made a Zendaya prosthetic.
Just to show that injury.
So prepare yourselves. Oh, it's knapesome.
Knapesome is a good word.
Is that the vibe really for the movie? Is it taking you deep within this world to those moments?
Don't get too hung up on, there are a lot of people, and there's some critics who are saying this is one of the greatest sports movies. Chill.
Whoa.
Whatever, you can keep your opinion, and that's fine, and there are ways you can substantiate it. But even Guadagnino, the director, goes, look, the tennis is a side thing. Side surfing, to the drama of being a love triangle. You were asking, what is the dynamic here? You were saying Zendaya feels very menacing here.
Yes.
And in fact, it ends up in a way that I don't think that anyone would guess.
Oh, wow.
Because we're so used to, I think a lot of us grew up maybe watching, say, Cruel Intentions and whatever.
That's where I thought this material was coming from. The art direction may have gone there.
Who's tricking who's playing games with who's tacticking against who, etc., etc. But I think go in with an empty mind and you might be satisfied. I want to tell you a bit about the preparation, though, because I was raving on about that. So the guy that you saw there, Brad Gilbert, I know nooks about tennis, so JP had to exercise his reading skills, Olympic level, and idiot. And Brad Gilbert coached Coco Gauff most recently. Led her to the US Open win in 2023. So that's who they were working with.
Okay.
And so for 6 weeks, all 3 actors, that's Mike Feist, that's Josh O'Connor, man, I nearly forgot his poor name again, even though he's a good actor, and Zendaya, whose name we'll never forget. 6 weeks they spent with this guy. She spent months, in fact. So yeah, it's the very man who trained world quality, and he himself back in 1990 made his highest ranking in number 4. So, hey, it's always great to see when a movie, like, when actors can leave a thing and be like, wait, am I in the right line of work? I could probably go give a try. And really, even like I said, as someone who's not a tennis person myself, like it's great if a movie can engross you to such a point where you go, wow, I am watching beauty, I am watching art, and the way we all sit down to the Olympics eventually, and suddenly you're a pro because you watched curling for an hour. Because if the camera work and if the pacing and all that can capture the beauty enough, it's going to steal you. So look, before I show you the next clip, I'm going to say some sort of honesty about the hype. Don't get too sucked in by the hype. It's in fact not the sexiest of all time. Maybe I'm too hot-blooded, but the movie wasn't as crazy sexy as people make it out for me. Aside from that, I would have loved to see more, like, you know, people angling against each other, working against each other, knowing what the stakes are, what the motivations are, where people are stealing ground from one another. And I'm talking about in this love triangle game. It's really not as complex as you would have liked, but not for bad reasons. It's not that the love triangle is weak, it's that the reasons you'll find are quite different from what we're used to, as I described at the top, with Cruel Intentions. However, let's have another look. And the name that I mentioned there was Luca Guadagnino, the director who previously did Call Me By Your Name with Timothée Chalamet, now with Zendaya, both of them from Dune. Fist bump, yes. And for you too, a magical mystery. Air bump, spice bump. Let's have a look at a profile on that director and what he means to these brilliant, beautiful young actors. Challengers.
Challengers. It's about relationships and power. And our director, Luca, had a clear vision for what this film could be.
You were incredible today.
Thank you.
I mean, it wasn't even like tennis. It was an entirely different game.
Luca Guadagnino is quite an artist. There are very few filmmakers that can do what he does.
Hey, I love you.
I know.
Luca's constantly thinking about these frictions between friends and lovers.
How often does this happen? Going after the same girl? These characters are so vulnerable and honest. Let's go! And Luca is so good at pulling those nuances out.
Challenger is about the game of life and love. And everyone put a lot of energy in making the most dynamic, visually impressive, theatrical experience possible.
I assume you planned this?
Not this part.
Wow. Okay. We've seen it. We've teased. Now it's about popcorn. So how many popcorns?
Real question.
How many popcorns does Zendaya get? I mean, I'm sorry, I meant challengers get. Sorry.
No, so actually, and that's almost a point. All these actors are brilliant, but maybe it feels a bit unbalanced in the weighting in that Zendaya is a force.
Yes.
And then you wonder, like, what is the attraction to this guy? Look, all that doesn't matter, though, for a Scandal, for a Skinner movie, 7 out of 10 is absolutely adequate. However, that is completely against the consensus. The public is loving the heck out of this. They're giving it 9s, 10s. Yeah, like I said, my blood is a bit too hot.
Okay, this is great. I'm going to actually thank you for this movie getting a 7. I appreciate that. But Challengers, it's out. It's fantastic. And, of course, connected to all the tennis action that you will see here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Talking about tennis action, we go from Cape Town to Joburg, Cape Town to Joburg, Cape Town to Joburg.